a heck of a game spawning in the top left hand side of Eckle West is going to be Red Protoss player for Ence. It is Elfi.
Yay, I get to cast an Elfi game. One of the more unorthodox processes usually throw some crazy curveballs into the game. We'll be excited to see what he decides to go for. His opponent, though, needs very little introduction. An incredibly popular European Zerg player, spawning in the bottom right-hand position. Of course, this is Aquilon Waste. It is none other than Dimaga.
Absolutely, Dimaga against Elfi will be our upcoming matchup here. And boy oh boy, we had some waiting time before that.
Yeah, we really did. Yeah, a couple of the games. One of Marine Lord's series is at the bottom half of the bracket. I think the entire series took over an hour and a half. So the entire second half of the bracket has kind of been, put on hiatus because of that. But anyway, Elfi getting off with a very, very quick scout. He has planted a pylon at his natural, so looks like it's going to be a very quick nexus out of him. Nothing too unusual there. And of course, the nice thing about this early scout is that it tends to force Zergs into getting that early pull, which you see Dimaga putting down now.
Yeah, absolutely, because with that probe you can always block the expansion, and if you're extremely annoying, you always throw down a pylon so that the Zerg player will never ever get their hatchery down there, unless they throw down a pool. Which is basically what Dimaga did there, and now we already see the probe going down there and trying to block it. On the other end of the map we now see Elfi, who finally gathered 400 minerals, will now finally throw down his nexus. And
there it goes.
Yeah.
Just trying to chase away this probing as annoying as possible, and does get that pylon down. This is one of the most annoying plays that Protoss players can go for in the early stages of the game here, but why wouldn't you? I mean,
look at
it's a very
sneaky
cheap
Dimaga.
investment.
He faked out that he would go to the third base, and now it's just waiting for the pylon to be cancelled, and tries to throw down that hatchery, but it is not going to happen here. Bad luck for Dimaga. Once again a pylon goes down, and now I'm sure he will go to the third base location and try to throw it down. That was a nice try, I have to say though.
Yeah, trying to be a bit coy, a bit sneaky there, but Elfi really on it with his probe, and this is really frustrating for a Zerg player. It sets back your expansion, and of course some of your timing's back by so much.
Yeah.
He sent out another drone up to the natural now coming down. I think this is going to be to place his third base, or second, I don't know what you want to call it at this point. Down it goes. So that's not too late. 4 minutes 10 is very early for a third base, and normally if you go for this pool hatch build, that's kind of the normal timing to put that down though. Meanwhile though, Elfi's Nexus is already finished, so he's got himself quite a nice economic lead as a result of this expansion timing, and he has got a cannon coming up in his wall off as well, so he's going to be pretty protected for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already very well fortifying his position there. Well, now I'd say throw down maybe even another gateway, or maybe even a Stargate to be able to complete the wall in, and from there on out will be in a phenomenal position. He's also already mining quite some gas, so Stargate might be his choice there. Let's see, we definitely have to wait until that cybernetics core finishes up though, because otherwise he cannot further tech.
Yeah, absolutely. The cyber core is the all-important structure, and we will discover what tech path he's branching out into as soon as it finishes. Which there it goes. Mothership core gets started first, but he's banked up already 130 gas, and that's going to go up only for quite a bit more. Starts his stalker and warp gate as well, so getting that core tech up. Upgrading very quickly as well. It's important to remember your warp gate research. It does happen occasionally. You'll find them forgetting it. These prep players, they occasionally do have unfortunate mishaps like that. But he's got quite a lot of gas here. I wonder where he's going to plant this. You need to be able to hide this for as long as possible, just to get that little nice advantage. And there we see a Stargate.
And also, I just love the positioning. I mean, if you think of it, where could the overlords come from that would scout this? They would either come from maybe from that side here, they would have to travel all across the main base to be able to see it, or they could come in from the south and they will have to travel all across the natural base to be able to see it. So a very nice position there. Behind all of that, or at the other end of the map, he's now going to push further or into the third base there with that mothership core. But seeing the queen probably might chase him away a little bit. Also, there are already a lot of circlings built for Dimaga, so he shouldn't be in any troubles whatsoever. But now with that Stargate finishing up, things can turn around very quickly.
Yeah, they certainly can do. Another thing that's quite interesting to me is that Elfi, if you notice at the third base position, he's got a pylon up and a couple of cannons warping in at the moment. So I think he's going to do quite a map-specific play here and rush up to a quick third nexus behind the Stargate. And I like this play out of him. Going for Phoenixes as well, gets his first one out, second one's on the way, and following up with a Robo too. But the positioning of these cannons suggests to me that he's going to go for this quick nexus, which I think is a really smart strategy to go for on Akalon Wastes.
Yeah, absolutely, but Dimaga already preparing for it perfectly, already throwing down the Hydralisk then there. So it shouldn't be a big of a deal to actually deal with those Phoenix, but behind all of that we see the robotics facility now going down. So we might see a bit of a transition into Colossus play, maybe even a couple of Immortals to follow that up.
Yeah, I would expect to see him do something like that. Get a few observers out for scouting, go up to some Immortals, get up to some Colossus, all that good Robo jazz. Meanwhile, I love the fact that he used his cannons to take out the destructible rocks, the collapsible rocks, I should say, and they're now working on the destructible rocks. Oh, damn you, Dustin Browder, so many different types of rocks, it's hard to remember sometimes.
It's actually only
yeah,
rocks, if you select it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got an observer on the way as well. He hasn't yet revealed, or has he revealed the Phoenixes? No, he hasn't. Neither of these have any kills yet, and Dimaga is not aware of it either. He has spotted the third base, but the Phoenixes could come as something of a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely, and also we so far see no spine crawlers or spore crawlers whatsoever being set up in the mineral lines. So those queens, if actually Elfi goes for the critical mass of Phoenix, which usually is 4, and that is what he has right now, could very quickly die off here. We already see the first one trying to run for its life, but it ain't gonna get away here. It's gonna be picked up here and will be killed.
Plenty of queens here able to provide some firing support though from the ground. 3 in fact, and this is going to be enough to keep these Phoenixes on their toes. No Spore Crawlers dropped just yet, but 11 Hydralisks in production, and that's going to be able to help chase this stuff away. Elfi doing a good job picking up a few drone kills though on the way, getting gas drones as well, which is really annoying. 4 in total, not a great deal, not really going to be upsetting Dimaga, but he did take the gas ones, and Dimaga hasn't actually put drones back on gas, so the longer this happens, the more annoying it's going to be for our Zerg player.
Yeah, absolutely. Now once again a queen is being lifted here by Elfi, but the Hydralisk step in and immediately the lift is cancelled there to get away. Behind all of that we see a Spire going down, which is, I'd assume, a very, very standard transition here out of Dimaga. On the other end of the map we now see more gateways going down here, actually 3 of them. Also the Robo is now doing its thing with producing a couple of Immortals. And no Colossus yet so far, because the robotics bay has just only been started. So that's some ways away here. And also the Stargate is no longer being used here by Elfi, so we might see a Robo-based ground army from here on out.
Yeah, not opting to go any Void Ray play either. He might look to mix that in later, of course, but now, just for now, focusing on his ground units. Getting Blink and getting his first Colossus out, and there we go, there's Colossus range. So, yeah, like you say, looking for that ground-based composition. Dimaga Spire is just about to finish up, though, so has gotten himself quite a large number of Hydralisks, I beg your pardon, and I think he'll probably look to finish to round this up with some Mutalisks tech switching in the near future. These Hydralisks are going to be able to chase away the Phoenix as well as the Queens as well. Those Phoenixes are looking very bruised. They're only 3 in number now, having lost one earlier. And having started his +1 flyer attacks, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Mutalisks following up these Hydralisks after a push.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a very, very standard transition here. I think we also saw that previously in I think it was one of Starnen's games, where I think he was facing Paranoid, where he went for that Ling Hydra push and then transitioned over into Mutalisks. So that is pretty much the same thing without really too many links. Now there we go, there's 28 links, okay. But I think Elfi is pretty well set up, at least for the Hydralisk and Link part. He already has 1 Colossus out, is now just finishing his second one, also extended from a lens, will finish off in a couple of seconds. And if he actually manages to get that before the attack rolls in, he should be in a phenomenal position.
He's just spotted the Spire with his observer as well. He's just now spotted it. I don't know whether he's taken stock of it. He may have spotted the fact that it was actually researching something as well. So hopefully, if he was able to spot that, he should be able to resume Phoenix production. But meanwhile, here comes Dimaga up the middle of the ramp. Time Warp goes down as well, and the Colossus is there. 2 Colossi, in fact, going to be able to deal very handily with those Hydralisks. I think Dimaga needs to be careful here, because he doesn't want to just throw his army away. He does want to actually try and make it useful at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, throwing that army away would be a big blunder, I think, out of him. Just because those are, well, Hydras are actually not really for free, such as Lings are. So he definitely has to get something in trade for, to actually, um, uh, well, to get something for his army there, not just throw it in one of those holes that there are.
yeah, that nasty chasm of force fields that Protoss love to put Hydralisks in. He certainly needs to try and get something done with them, and here we go. It looks like he's pushing forward here. Ling's getting absolutely massacred, not engaging entirely in cohesion there. The Sprockers blink forward as well, able to pick down a couple of the Hydralisks and Lings as well. Dimaga doing a good job though, keeps his Hydras alive in the main. Doesn't lose more than just a couple of those, but Elfi looking particularly strong at the front, but Mutalisks have come up into the third base, just catching that now, able to take down quite a few probes as well, get chased away by some of the Stalkers, but these Mutas are going to be an absolute nuisance in the main base here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Elfi saw the Spire going down, also saw that it was researching something, but he didn't build any Phoenix whatsoever, and now he only has those Blink Stalkers that are also now surrounded by Zerglings, so those will die off very, very quickly, and the Mutalisks will remain. Also, the Hydralisks are now entering the natural here, take out the Forge. On the other hand, we see a Scouting Colossus trying to gain some scouting information, but we already see the Spinecrawler Force being thrown down here by Dimaga. But since it's already been started, those Stalkers and the Colossus can still make something happen about that. Also now another force is going to push into the fourth base of Dimaga. They're trying to take that up, but Dimaga now taking a very nice supply lead, 180 to 136. Eventually he might lose his main, but so does Elfi right now as well.
Yeah, just crazy base race happening all of a sudden here. Both armies passing each other in the middle of the map. Elfi has split up his forces. They're working on the fourth base location and on the main. Plenty of Blink Stalkers up here in the main base, working down on this lair with the Colossus. But meanwhile, Elfi's main base being absolutely ransacked by a little contingent of Lings, Hydralisks, and Mutalisks. I shouldn't say little. This is pretty sizable. They haven't had a go at Elfi's third base, but I think it's only a matter of time before they do. Lings running in now as well to reinforce. So this is really, really neck and neck. But I have to feel like the advantage goes to the player with the Mutalisks at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Dimaga just has the more mobile army here in this base trade. It might be a little bit. It's actually bigger. What am I saying? It might be a little bit maybe against all those Blink Stalkers. Maybe not the best choice, but just because it's so very mobile, he can just basically be at every location at every time, and that is very, very important when it comes to a base race scenario, because usually the buildings will be scattered around the map, as we see that one extractor there at the.
Yeah, what I love that Dimaga's done actually as well is just expanded everywhere.
Yep.
He's even expanded into Elfi's natural kind of fourth base location. I love this play. He's got plenty of bank as well, so he's just throwing down hatcheries willy-nilly. Elfi's being revealed as well, so it's only really a matter of time before Dimaga's able to work his way down on the buildings. Elfi's got a lot of money, and he's got probes still as well. He's got 6 probes. They're currently chilling out in Dimaga's natural, so he's going to need to put down the Nexus relatively quickly. He's also going to have to be very careful because the Mutalisks can bounce back and forth, taking out places. There are a couple of these Phoenix from early on in the game, just trying to see what they can get done against the Mutas. The Blink Stalkers come in as well, not able to pick one off in time, but with Elfi not mining and not being able to produce anything, being supply blocked as well, he's really got to make stuff work. And actually, he's in danger of losing these probes in the middle of the map as well. Elfi does pick off one of the expansions for Dimaga. Nice play there. Elfi's going to lose these pylons here at the natural as well. Looks like this assimilator is going to go down as well. Hydra's moving up and around, and I think Dimaga's just decided it's time to kill the buildings.
Yeah, absolutely. While Elfi is eventually going to run out of buildings here, Dimaga just has so many hatcheries left, and also basically buildings scattered all across the map here. So I think he's definitely in advantage, even though his army by now is actually a little bit smaller than Elfi's. But just because those Mutalisks are so extremely mobile, I think he should be able to deal with that. And look at Elfi actually throwing down an assimilator in the base of Dimaga there.
Cheeky. Dimaga has attempted a spawning pool at this position, but I feel like that's not going to be let happen. There are a couple of Colossus here, and the rest of the army arrives here for Elfi, and he's going to be able to take this out very, very quickly. But does it really even matter? I mean, we've got plenty of other buildings here for Dimaga. He's got 2 expansions left standing. Plenty of drones able to throw down expansions in other locations as well. And Elfi hasn't yet thrown down a Nexus. He does have the resources to do so. So He needs to maybe think about doing that pretty soon, otherwise this constant permanent reveal is really going to affect him. Dimaga puts down another pylon, so takes out another pylon, I should say. So it's really neck and neck at the moment, but I feel like all the advantage is still weighing in favour of our Zerg player here at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Dimaga is now going to go after the last remaining buildings here. Sees that there are 2 extractors left in the main base of his own, and also 2 in the other whatever bases those are. Eventually the Hydralisks might be slowly but steadily whittled away here. So Elfi will eventually get rid of them here. But still, they might take out that assimilator there, and then there's really only that one assimilator left here. But Elfi once again throws down another additional sets of pylons here. Not really throwing down a Nexus yet, so that's a little bit surprising, I think.
Yeah, these Hydras do get entirely cleaned up, though, as you say. And Elfi, yes, still throwing down the pylons. I think he's playing an interesting game. Obviously, StarCraft 2 is very interesting, but his particular playstyle at this point is really fascinating. Deliberately delaying the Nexus, and I'm sure he's aware of how much money he has. And he's forcing Dimaga to burn his minerals as he takes out Nexus after Nexus. And he keeps this probe, 1 or 2 probes hanging around his army really, really constantly. And I think we might see him put up a Nexus very, very shortly as he just gradually whittles down the base number for Dimaga. Unfortunately for him, though, Dimaga's already mining again, and he's put down his spawning pool too. So he can't keep this up forever. He's going to have to make a change.
Yeah, definitely. He will eventually have to throw down a Nexus, that's what it's called. Just because Dimaga basically is now endlessly mining, if he doesn't make anything about that. Maybe he's also just playing a little bit with Dimaga. Maybe he's letting him think that he maybe doesn't have enough money for a Nexus.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could be a reason. Once again, now we'll take out one of the last remaining bases of Dimaga. There basically now he only has that one base in the third base of what Elfi's base used to be there. If Elfi can identify that, that will be huge for him. So far he has no clue about that. Also Dimaga is now once again going to attack all those pylons that are scattered around the map. Only a couple of assimilators are now left for Elfi, but he still has 2 probes. So eventually he will be able to throw down a Nexus if he decides to do so. So let's see what he's doing here.
Yeah, ooh, I think Elfi just got wind of that last hatchery for Dimaga, and yes, he did spot it, so he's marching on his way over there. Meanwhile, Dimaga had hidden drones across the map, and he's planted another expansion, but I think Elfi might catch wind of this as well, because it's very, very close to his existing one. He's expanded again towards the 6 o'clock position, and meanwhile, he continues to work on these assimilators that Elfi keeps putting down. Elfi started the base trade with about 2.5k minerals. He's now down to 1150, so while he is bleeding Dimaga out gradually, he's got to put that Nexus down sooner rather than later. Puts down a pylon here as well as he moves and take out this base as well. All these drones going down is very nice, of course, for Dimaga, and he's putting effort for Elfi, and he's taking out this hatchery really quickly as well. Double extractor as well there. Will he spot the remaining hatcheries? I think he's going to see this one on the natural. Yeah, here we go. He sees this as well, and it looks like he's going to take this off as well. And I think Elfi has a real chance here. I think he's played this out very smartly.
Dimaga is now down to 600 minerals. He can only build 2 additional hatcheries, and he also didn't just cancel that one, which also once again loses him 300 minerals, and eventually he will just run out of money here. And really, pretty much until now, the only thing that he has left are those Mulisks, which are also now dying here. 3 of them, or 2 actually almost went down here. And I think also taking a look at the supplies, also only 1 drone is left for Dimaga. Meaning that he also only can build 1 more building. Elfi,
and there's the GG.
Wow.